Hello, good day, beautiful people. I am the Inspirational Lady Noble 365 Tarot. Welcome to my channel. I greatly appreciate you being here. Make sure you like, share, and subscribe. I trust you'll love this vibe, and everything you need to know about me is in the description below. This is past, present, or future. You or someone around you. So take what resonates and leave the rest for someone else. This is a general read. This is not a personal read, okay? Be sure to tell a family, friend, or foe, or to stop on by and subscribe to the channel so that they can be privy to these spiritual notifications. There is enough space in this place for everyone to be notified, okay? Remember that tarot is a tool, it is not the final rule. So it's a good idea to have an empty cup when you Noble's channel and you really want to see what's up. Okay, I received a download, and the message is the divine wants the collective to be aware that as you move forward on your path, there are things that are in your control and out of your control. And as you hear about things changing inside of you and outside of you, which is a natural process that is part of being here on Mother Earth and in the Matrix, for you to not take changes as a challenge, but to receive the idea of things changing as an option. So when you hear about things being developed, being created, changes that are coming in the near future or maybe presently, look at it as an option and not a challenge. The divine is saying there's too much focus on the negativity, the hypotheticals of what if. There's too much anxiety and negative energy being overly exposed and inflicted onto ourselves, and to be mindful whenever we hear about things changing or we see things are changing in the world, on our job, with our finances, with our health, with our relationships, with our friends, our family, our children, relationships on all levels. Consider these things to be an option. Consider these things to be confirmation and not a challenge. There's a strong need and a strong may this message really impact you. There's a strong need and requirement in order to maintain your balance and your stability to stop looking at changes as a challenge. And it's time to look at the changes that are taking places around you as options instead. Because there are things that are in your control and there are many, many things that are out of your control. And in order to maintain your balance and your stability, and in order to see yourself through on the other side and make sure that you are efficient within yourself, you cannot be in a panic or be frantic every time you hear about a new development or something that is changing. It's time to stop engaging in these conversations where people are complaining and people are projecting negative energy, hypotheticals, what if this is going to happen, that is going to happen, and nothing has even come to pass. A lot of things, Spirit is saying, be mindful, because a lot of these conversations are just talk. Not everything that you hear is true. And this is something that we all already know as humans, okay? So that is the message. To stop looking at the changes inside of you and outside of you as a challenge and start looking at them as options that you are being given from the divine. It's time to shift your perception. It's time to come out of negative thinking, hypothetical thinking, and it's time to stop engaging. Spirit is saying there's a large amount of people who are deliberately each and every day waking up and engaging in these negative conversations and topics about politics, about things that are changing. Be mindful of manifesting and projecting negativity onto yourself. If you are still employed, be grateful for your job and stop engaging in conversations and thoughts of what if or when. Spirit is saying stay present and stay grateful. It's okay to check the scoreboard. It's okay to be aware, but to be overly focused and overextending yourself into areas and situations that have not came to pass. And just because you hear about something doesn't mean it's going to come to pass. Everything has its own divine timing and purpose and intention. And this is the time to exercise your faith. This is the time to pull out that mustard seed. This is the time for you to believe and not be discouraged but encouraged. The divine is also saying stop allowing what you hear in the media as a crutch for you to stop moving forward, or as an excuse for you not to progress, or as an excuse for you to not apply for that loan, buy that house, extend that family, start that business, or apply for that job, or whatever it is you want to do, or work on that passion project. Stop allowing the things outside of you to be an excuse or a hindrance from you enhancing your life, from you receiving fulfillment, things that you desire. Life is for the living. You are not the first one to live here on planet Earth. Your ancestors did it before you. There will always be something going on that is out of your control. There will always be something being spoke about on social media, on the television. This is part of the duality of being here and existing here on planet Earth. If you know, you know. Many of you do know this. The first card we have here is the Knight of Pentacles. The Knight of Pentacles is expansion and hard work. So do not stop believing in yourself. If there's something you want to work on, develop, expand, create, build, establish, do not allow the gossip and the things that you hear to be a hindrance, to be a crutch, an excuse or a reason for you to stop living, to stop enjoying life. If you want to plan a trip somewhere, go ahead and plan that trip. Stop focusing on what someone said about a price hike, and things are going to be always changing, Spirit is saying. I've been getting these downloads, for the past collective. I've been getting downloads, and I have several videos on this topic I'm speaking on. But evidently, they're being constantly channeled because there's a great need to reintroduce and reinforce this message, because there's a lot of illusion taking place. And there's a lot of people who are self-inflicting blockages on their life. They're missing out on favor. They're missing out on blessings and opportunity. And so they're saying, stop believing everything you see and hear. All of it is not fake, but all of it is not real. And so it will be a waste of time and a waste of your focus for you to put so much attention on things that have not even occurred yet. Stay present and stay grateful. Next, we have the Ten of Wands. This energy here is energy that people are inflicting on themselves. And they're not saying to be oblivious to what's taking place, but people are allowing themselves to be saturated in a low vibrational state of being. And what it's doing is magnetizing more negativity towards you. Okay, you hear about a friend having their hours cut, and then you start to engage in this conversation about this friend or with this friend. And the momentum of that will magnetize negative energy into your own personal life. And it's not about what you believe in. It's just is what it is. It's like the air that you breathe. You're breathing it now. It's like gravity. It doesn't need you to believe in it. It is what it is. And that's how energy works. Energy is real. The more you focus on it, the more you complain, you'll have more things to complain about. The more you get into these conversations, about woe is me, these pity parties, and this costs too much and the price of this, the only thing you can do is take what you have and do the best that you can. The only thing you can do, collective, is take what you have and do the best that you can. There's a need and a requirement to stop complaining, because there are people getting worked up and becoming disturbed And it's all an illusion. They're upset about situations that has not occurred, or situations that will not occur at all. You do have more control than you think you have, collectives. You are more empowered and equipped than you think you are. Spirit is saying it's time for you to pivot in a direction where you're able to tap into your arsenal of having faith, of being strong, of being resilient, and especially being creative. Possibly starting those passion projects or those hobbies or those ideas that you have been having and you have been pushing to the side. Everything has its own unique, individual, divine purpose. And in order to go within the flow of change, there's no need to become flustered or full of anxiety, but to trust the process and find a way for you and your loved ones to stay in the flow of change. Find your niche. Spirit is saying find where you fit in. And that is personal, that is private, and that is individual. We all are born with several gifts. Spiritual warfare is always taking place. There's someone who constantly hears this a lot. This is for somebody in particular. It's always taking place on many levels. But know that you are strong. You could have Leo placement somewhere in your chart and you'll be just fine. But you have to see it this way. You have to shift your perception and change your conversations so that then you can change your mind. You change your conversations, you can change your mind, and you can also change what you are projecting onto yourself, what you are inflicting onto yourself, but most of all, what you are magnetizing to yourself and to your life. And there is a need to share this message with your family. If you have children, um, or a spouse, there is a need to have a conversation and share this message. You have free will to do what you want, but there's a need for you to share this message about just simply staying in a positive mindset. You want to influence your children. If you have teenagers, if you have school age children, children are very smart. They're very brilliant. And teach them about positivity. And you may want to create affirmations, maybe for your household, for yourself. Affirmations do work with momentum over time. They do work. Everything that you didn't believe in prior, the things that you take for granted, are the things that you should be drawn to, are the things that you should be utilizing at this time. We all have different levels of life where we are foolish, where we are uninformed, where we are going through learning processes, where we're having growth spurts. We all have those moments, but this is the time, especially if you are concerned about your well-being or survival, to tap into your creativity, to make sure you're utilizing your faith, to make sure that you're being positive and maintaining your vibration, especially in your household. There's a need to, that tells me to repeat it, have this conversation. I'm speaking to someone who has a household that's very chaotic. You cannot force anyone to do anything, but you can lead by just being the example. The Seven of Wands here, the energy that is here, this fight is within. This could also be, a mind frame, the perception of how you are viewing life around you. This is a wonderful time to be alive. What a great time to be alive. What a great time to be present. And there is so much to be grateful and thankful for each and every day. The fact that we're always in the energy of evolution, we're always, going through changes inside and out. And that is a natural state of being and existence. Things are supposed to be changing. Things are supposed to be developed. There are supposed to be new inventions. There are supposed to be new creations and new ideas. just as well as there's a new life being born and created each and every day. Why not that person have new ideas or be born into the world and come into their adulthood and want to accomplish their goals? And their goals just may be part of creating a new invention, a new idea, a new app, okay? Something that has not been seen, something that has not been utilized. So that's part of being here on planet Earth. That's part of being here in the matrix. So it's time to stop allowing yourself to be stressed and depressed because you are observing change that is happening. That is normal. So stop feeding the fears, Spirit is saying. This fight, this battle, this is all in your head. This is your perception. All is well. We live in a plentiful universe. There is plenty. We are never without any. They go affirmation right there. There is plenty. We are never without any. Okay? I have to cover her up. She's nude here. But with the star energy here, this is the perfect time to tap into that creative energy. This is the perfect time to work on that passion project. Things that you've always wanted to do, or that ideal, or something you've got in your garage or in your office, something you wrote down, you pushed to the side. It could be a book. Maybe you have a book that you would like to publish, okay? Maybe you need to do some research and look into some free publishing apps. There are plenty of them out there. There are plenty of ways to get started. There's always more than one way to meet your goal, to conquer your dreams and your aspirations, but you must be willing to do the work that is required. And a lot of times, because I'm using work, that word could be frightening to people. But as I just stated, do not feed the fears. Work could be something as simple as going to Google and putting, particular words in the search bar, and boom, click, and there it is. You find those free publishing websites. You find, you've already got the rough draft, and all you have to do, is just, transfer that to the device that it needs to be transferred to have that book published and get going. But I'm speaking to someone, because I'm not leaving the book topic, that's got a book in them, an idea. You've been wanting to write a book, you've been talking about it, but you could possibly have a rough draft, already prepared, or you have some notes or something you've been scribbling, okay? Or maybe you want to write a self-help book, some kind of pamphlet or something, okay? Something about nothing more than 100 pages, okay? That's for somebody, it's not for everybody, but go for the goal. This is not the time to give up on your dreams. The stars in the upright. When this card comes out in the upright, that's prosperity, that's abundance, that's new ideas. That is a lot of good news and opportunity. And so with the stars in the upright, it's also saying and confirming that this is a wonderful time to be the center of attention. This is a wonderful time to start those new ideas, to move forward. This is not the time to sit down, and think that it's not possible to, remain on your throne or create your throne or increase your pinnacle. This is the right time, the perfect time to keep moving forward and continue to believe in yourself, but remain grateful and stay present. Okay. And I'm being told to repeat that so much that there's evidently there's a large group of people who are doing a lot of hypothetical thinking. They're doing a lot of negative thinking, about things that have not even occurred. And so there's a need to come out of that energy immediately. It's urgent to let that go. You know, you can't resist change. It's natural. But you need to learn to go in the flow of change instead of resisting. You're only overwhelming yourself. The more that you resist and create that friction, you're overwhelming yourself. Okay? Do some deep breaths. Okay? Have some fun. Enjoy yourself as much as you work and play. Don't make it a dull day. Make sure that you're treating yourself to something nice. Even if it's just a conversation, a cup of coffee, a cup of tea, a walk in the park, whatever floats your boat. It's different for everyone. There are some people who enjoy the little things, the small things in life, and they're very grateful for them. And there are some people who like to treat themselves to big things, nice things. Go for it. Spirit is saying, go for it. What are you waiting for? There's no need to wait. There's no need to be saturated in fear. Okay? Let go and surrender the anxiety. One of the goals here is to have you hyper focus whenever you hear that something is occurring that is negative or that is negative. And one thing you don't want to do, you do not want to assist in any agenda to pull your vibration down. You don't want to be in assistance of that. You want to work towards resisting that. You want to apply yourself necessarily where needed so that you can be in resistance of that energy. You don't assist in pulling your frequency down. You do the work to raise the vibration. Okay? And so the Knight of Cups here, this is communication. Be mindful, as I was speaking of earlier, of how you communicate. If you hear people, maybe you're in the supermarket, waiting to pay for your food, or whether you're taking care of business and you hear a group of strangers having a conversation about politics or, who was hurt or complaining about the prices of this and that, don't engage in those conversations. Spirit is saying be mindful of who you give your currency to. Your currency is your time and your energy. So, energetically speaking, even engaging in conversations with a total stranger can affect your life, can affect your mood, and can affect what you magnetize towards you. So, it's not about being fake or phony or pretending. It's about practicing self preservation and making sure that you live your best life while you're here on planet Earth. Everyone, no matter who you are, I'm pretty sure you want a little bit, at least a little bit of harmony, of prosperity, of abundance, of cohesiveness in your life. No one is here, I'm pretty sure, and saying, oh no, I don't want to be happy. Oh no, I don't want to be abundant. No, everyone wants to experience a level of abundance, prosperity, happiness, peace, contentment, the Ten of Pentacles, a happy home, a happy life. Everyone would love to experience this. Doesn't matter for how long or when, but before you perish from planet Earth, with the shoulda, woulda, coulda theory, you want to give yourself your best shot. So Spirit is saying, bet on you with this read. The goal of the message is for you to bet on yourself, to apply to yourself. There's nothing greater that you should be focused on other than making sure you do the best that you can to be all you can be so that you can reap your own harvest. We are all individually, uniquely, divinely created, and we have our own purpose here. Everyone has value and everyone matters, but it's up to us individually. We have more control, as I mentioned earlier, than we know. We are more empowered than we know, to co-create, to manifest, to bring them things into tangible where you can touch, if it's money, if it's a house, if it's a car, if it's a loving relationship, if it's a successful business, whatever it is for you, getting into the industry. Okay, you can still do music, you can still dance, you can still write music. Don't be so hyper focused on what you are hearing. Yes, changes are happening, but that doesn't mean that it's not possible for you to go in the flow of it. So you need to be mindful of those people, those friends and those associates, but you have to love yourself, so much that you're willing to, if you need to cut ties with someone because they're so negative. I'm picking up that there is someone who has a friend or maybe a family member. And when I say cut ties, I'm not meaning go to someone and curse them out and scream at them. I'm saying simply say less to that person, but I'm picking up on someone who has someone who's always negative. Every time you talk to them, they're complaining or there's something toxic going on. You have to love yourself so much that you're not willing to engage. And even if it means not talking to that person, okay, don't talk to them or change the subject. Change the subject or not engage at all because it matters. If a person is opening their mouth and every time they talk to you, they are complaining, there is something wrong with that situation, but it's not for you to figure out. It would take too much energy, and you're not here to save anyone. If someone needs assistance, they will let you know they need your help. But someone, every time you talk to them, is always negative, like they never have nothing nice to say, ever, ever, ever. Not even on a beautiful summer day. You could be looking at the flowers and you could say, oh, those flowers are pretty. No, they not. Mm-mm. Oh, it's so nice outside today. The weather is beautiful. No, it's not. It's about to rain in an hour. That kind of energy. I'm picking up there's someone around you who's like that. Maybe you swipe in, you get to work, and you like, oh, I'm so glad today payday. Did you hear they gonna give us a pay cut? I mean, like, you have to love yourself enough to not allow someone to treat you like you're a waste dump site, dumping their energy, their toxicity onto you. You have to love yourself that much. And in order to cut them off, you don't have to curse them out. You don't have to be angry. You can simply see them and say hi and bye. And when they start talking, change the subject or walk away. It's just that simple. You don't have to go to that person saying, well, I'm not going to talk to you. No, 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 no. Just don't engage. Hi and bye. I got something to do. Or they call. This person could be somebody who also calls you with all their problems. And every time you talk to them, you're on the phone, you look up, 30 minutes done pass, 40 minutes done pass. Oh, an hour and a half. Oh, we on 2 hours and this person is doing nothing but Charlie Brown. Wah, 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 wah. you know, like Charlie Brown school teacher, just a bunch of nagging and complaining. And by the time you get off the phone with them, you feel drained, you feel fatigued, or your mood has changed. And you're like, every time I talk to this person, my mood is changing. What is that? That's them projecting onto you. Okay. So it's all about you, as I said, maintaining your balance and your stability. Okay. Being in the flow. This temperance energy, you or someone around you can have Sagittarius placement in their chart. This temperance energy is you going within the flow, but maintaining your balance and your frequency, not being anxious or upset, not being oblivious either. We're not saying to ignore what's going on, but not to allow it to distract you, to hinder you, or overwhelm you where you're stressed out, where you feel like, oh no, I can't do that. Cause they said the carry-on gonna cost an extra $20. Oh no, I can't do that because there's no more bed and breakfast. Oh no, I can't do that because they're gonna go up $1 more. That kind of thing. No. Life is for the living. The spirit is saying, keep on going, keep living. Trust and know if there's anything that you are desiring that you want to do, you will be provided for, but they want you to come out of the negative thinking, the negative pity, the negative self talk. They want you to come out of that. Change your mind so you can change your mood and your conversation. And if there's something that you are desiring, where you have to utilize, that costs money, the moment that you choose to stop being negative, excuse me, confirmation with that burp there. The moment that you choose to stop being negative, you will be met in your pathway with favor, blessings, and opportunity. You're planning a trip somewhere. You may see a coupon, a 2-for-1 special, or one free night, or a room that comes with free breakfast, or discount tickets to get into a theme park. It could be anything, or run across some kind of free I don't know. I'm something about a debit card. Maybe someone's giving away a raffle and they're giving away debit cards for free gas, or, all kind of different blessings and favors, will arrive on your path when you choose to be positive and remain optimistic about your present as well as your future. And trust and know that it is working for you in your highest good. We got the 10 out here, the star card, temperance. This is beautiful energy out here. The 3 of cups, strength, and the Queen of Pentacles. Like, come on. I mean, this is beautiful. This is beautiful. So this is just a spiritual notification for you to continue to live your life. Okay. And this is so clearly and straight to the point. This channel message came through so solid and clear. And Source, said, tell them, let them know, you're not the only one who have lived here on planet Earth and experienced changes in the economy. You're not the only one here on planet Earth who experiences changes in life, period. You have had many, 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 many ancestors who have transitioned before you. And if they could speak to you in this moment, they would tell you, and they're telling you now through me, that this is a normal thing. Change is a normal thing, as I've been saying. So stop getting riled up and overwhelmed about it, and stop joining these people in these pity party, because that's what they are. Pity party conversations. People who want someone to be, in that energy with them. Whoa, it's me. Oh, poor me. No, oh, abundant me. I am so grateful and so thankful. I am so loved. I am respected. I am protected. I am empowered. No weapon formed against me shall prosper, should be your energy, male or female. Okay? Okay, when your homies call. Okay, that's Tupac. Okay, yeah, when your homies call, don't answer. That's a classic song. That song over 20 years old. When my homies call. Okay, when they call, hey, it's gonna be sometimes you ain't gonna be available because you're gonna be busy, You're not answering the phone for someone that has nothing new or kind to say. I'm pretty sure you don't want to hear it. At this point, I'm pretty sure you don't want to hear it and you don't need to hear it. If it's not positive, collective, if it's not fruitful, it's not something to assist you or make you laugh or some lighthearted conversation, I'm pretty sure you're not interested. You want to exchange jewels, whether it's a love relationship or a friendship that is fair, that is balance, balance, fair and balance, okay? Equal reciprocity. You don't need no one to be contacting you with all their issues and their problems, okay? Who have nothing nice or new to say, just complaints, okay? Nothing but complaints. So the goal is for you to maintain your mental power, maintain your truth. And the truth is that you are fully empowered and you are confident and you are strong and you are very wise, and you will be working on different ways that you and your family, whether you are a parental figure or maybe you have a spouse, or even if you're a single person, moving forward, collective, the message is for you to find ways to go in the flow of change instead of resisting and doing all this negative thinking, because you're doing nothing but feeding the fears, okay? And we don't want to do that, okay? I'm going to pull a dream interpretation. Here's one dream interpretation before we, okay, that one turned over, okay? We'll do that one, okay? All right, we have nature, okay? So there's a need for you to do some grounding work, get out into nature, possibly, going outside, whether it's at your home, your front porch, your front lawn, your balcony, someone lives in an apartment or a condo watching this video. Whatever your situation is, go for a walk, go outside, get out into nature, and do this consistently, not just because I said in this read, but make it a habit. Year round, doesn't matter what the weather is. If it's cold, buckle up, but honey, go outside, okay? Connect with nature. Nature spirits want to connect with you. There is something that your ancestors could want to communicate to you as well. And going out into nature will be a great place to receive clarity. If there's any, especially if you're someone that feel you need to constantly clear your energy, things could feel distorted or not so clear, or you're looking for answers. Getting out in nature, collective, is the best thing that anyone, doesn't matter what your belief system is, all are always welcome on this channel. But get out into nature, ground yourself, receive that clarity, and breathe in that fresh air. Later.